Welcome back on part 2 on how to create a food mobile delivery app from scratch. So this is what we have so far. We have these 3 getting starting slides that you can swipe with your hand and get started button and continue with social media or with your email address. And let's say if continue and our users continue with the email address, and if the system recognize this email address, you can be redirected to your login, and if not, to the create account part that we're gonna address today. Two-factor authentication, the main screen, and I did something different here. I added the physical address that we're gonna deliver the food, and with a change button, and I placed the settings buttons here, and here are the categories, and this is the pizza category selected, and we drill down into that category. So this is what I did. This is where we left off, and what I did here, I applied some variables, and in order to not get you bored with applying the variables, I already did that. And if you don't know how to address variables, I created a video a few months ago on how to create a new Brutalism website from scratch, and please watch my process on that video. And if you don't know how to apply, let's quickly go through the process a bit. So what I did, I went and did name some variables, group them. So I created variables on the primitives collection. Go here, even if you don't know how to rename, just rename collection by here, and go just add some variables. I added some white, light cream, some variations of cream. I grouped them into cream. Make sure you don't add black 1, black 2, just 1, 2. It will be part of the black group name. So I added a pure black, some light black, some even lightish black, and then I grouped some accent colors, teal, and this is my primary. And for dark theme I used lighter teal. This is for success label. This is my coral, red for errors labels, yellow for warnings, something like that. Then I went here, create another collection called tokens, and this is where we trigger our variables. And on brands I used for primary color accent teal, and I entered here a light mode, dark mode by clicking this plus button. And for primary color on light mode I used this accent teal one, and on dark theme accent teal, a light brightish teal, and so on. On text I used body for light theme black, for dark theme something like cream, for titles pure white, because we don't want to use pure white on dark theme, error, success, something like that. And we added here some exception dark, because we may use dark text on light mode and dark text even on dark mode, because as we can see here on the buttons, we are on dark theme and we want to use dark text on dark mode, so is an exception, and vice versa. And of course, as you can see here, these buttons are white on light theme and also light on dark theme, so you want to use an exception white or inverse, something like that. But I will give you this file for free and you can analyze it a bit and see how I apply it. So as you can see, if I take this artboard, switch it to dark, you make sure you use some keyboard and switch to dark. I've used an iOS design system made by Joey Banks, so please make sure you download this iOS design system, is very useful. Okay guys, so let's move on and just let's see here the main screen. When we switch to dark, I love it. I think this, let's copy the style of this button by holding Option Command C. Go here and Option Command V in order to paste it. Okay, so let's switch again to light. Okay, and if the system doesn't recognize this email address, let's make sure we duplicate, and this is called sign up one. Okay, so let's set you up, something like that. Add a bit of a paragraph by copying from our previous artboards, so we have something like, I don't know, hang in there as we create your account free forever, I don't know, something like that. Make sure you decrease a bit the line height, make sure auto. Okay, I'm pretty happy. Let's take this guy and create an auto layout by clicking Shift A and just rename it text. Just decrease the distance between these two by typing here 8, move here, and let's say 8, so it's very consistent. Okay, here we have to change this, and let's say sign up. Okay, because we are signing up, it's different. So let's delete this email address. Let's add, no, we don't want to. Let's undo. Okay, so now let's first and last name in one input. Let's say that I added Renan Ray. This is my full name, or you can type here full name. Okay, and let's create a password, because this is no longer with the forgot, doesn't make sense anymore here. So let's ungroup in order to get rid of all this auto layout password. Okay, so let's create the password. Let's take these bullets out. Let's copy the style of an inactive input and paste it here. Let's make sure this is 42 and this is, and let's change direction. Let's make sure it's 42. Okay, so these let's add, duplicate. Okay, and let's create a password. Let's make sure we use a paragraph that is smaller. Okay, just go here, paragraph, small, or just regular, and password strength. Okay, and now we're creating the password strength, and Command D in order to duplicate, add at least one uppercase, something like that, from A to Z, duplicate, lowercase, and you want to help users by visually reinforce with this helper text, one digit or number 1 to 9. I think numbers start from 10 to whatever, but between 1 and 9 is a digit. Okay, so let's add something like a close, or I don't know, something like that, because, and let's create an auto layout by holding Shift A, change direction, make sure it's on the middle, make sure it's 4, take this guy, decrease its size on 16, okay, and this is 1, and let's duplicate, copy this one, paste, copy, paste, let's delete these two. Okay, so now we have some password strength. Make sure it's filled, because we want to fit these two in the content. Okay, I think something is not right. So social media is good, but these, let's decrease a bit. Let's get rid of an auto layout of a group by holding Shift Command G in order to ungroup, and let's make sure this is filled, this group is filled. Oh, okay, so now it fits in. Okay, let's make sure it's filled, make sure it's filled, this guy is filled, everything is filled. Okay, and this one is filled, this one again filled, or holding command and select and shift and select the elements inside each group, each auto layout group. And okay, let's select all these three, and let's increase a bit the distance between these two elements. Okay, and now I'm pretty happy. Let's make a bit, let's ungroup, and let's add something like bold. Okay, so let's make sure we arrange this one in the middle of the artboard. Let's command and duplicate. Let's see how it looks like on the dark theme. Okay, I think it's all looking good. Let's switch again to, okay, and let's see, say that the user types and tap on the password input as, let's copy this, let's rename quickly, I want to be very organized, copy the password, go here, just make sure the group is selected, password here, move it, change a bit. Okay, get rid or forgot. Okay, let's get rid of this auto layout group. Let's make sure this get started button is a bit faded out, because we cannot allow them to get started if they, let's rename, if they haven't created a password. So copy the style of this button, paste a lot, make sure this is continue. Okay, so it's disabled. They already know the state of this enabled button, so it's better to use to decrease the opacity and still let the users know that this is a normal button, but it has been disabled because they haven't completed all the mandatory fields yet. So it's better to use field colored buttons rather than grayed out buttons, because it will increase skepticism. So you don't, they might wonder why this button is grayed out, but okay, with color they might think that they have to complete with their mandatory details. So let's add, in this case, the keyboard, because they, let's decrease the distance on 32. Let's make sure here as well, and let's make sure it's even around 28. It's even smaller. And as the user types in his passwords, we must tell them that, well, your password has 3 states: low, medium, or strong. Let's select this one, and let's say this is hugged. This is hugged, and it's something like weak. Okay. Okay, and we have to add a bar here that is filled, and it has something like default, something like that, or even darker, something like that. Okay, so and this is fixed, let's say 150, and select it, hold on Shift and A in order to add an auto layout, and make sure this has default 3, and the elements inside is something like coral. Okay, and the auto layout is filled. So you see, now we have to select these two passwords. Okay, and the distance between these two elements is something like 8, and this text selected by holding command and clicking on it in order to select the element inside. And on text we want to make sure this is something like this, weak. Okay, and make sure that this has something like border radius, something like 12. Okay, let's make sure the label for weak is a darker yellow. So how are you going to do that? Go here on local variables, click on primitives, yellow, and for the light theme it will be something like that. Okay, or maybe we're gonna use a coral, or I don't know. Okay, let's see. So we don't have text for defined yet, so go here. Okay, and go to tokens, text, and we have error, we have success, burning, and we have another style called I don't know, called something like coral, and we want to go to libraries and click coral. Okay guys, and now let's say that we want our text to be coral. Okay, and this one. Okay, and when we switch to dark mode, okay, it's something like that. I'm pretty happy. Okay, make sure you move it a bit on the top. Okay, and make sure you go here and switch accordingly on the dark mode, but we want to stay on light. Okay, so this is my password, and let's say he added a strong password. Make sure you select all these. Okay, get rid of these bars he typed to get the feeling that he typed on. Ungroup, make sure it's for, make sure you select and increase here. Make sure it's 46 like the other ones. Copy the style of our inactive input and just type it here. Okay, and again 46. Let's decrease the distance between bullets. Make sure it's 16. Make sure it's 16. So we want to group these into symbols, but I just want to show you how we apply the color variables and auto layout, and after that I will group all these components into symbols and apply them. And the password now is strong. Okay, we're gonna be using a success label. This is field now, and now it's something like that, and it has 12, and the button has been enabled, and he can continue. Get rid of this keyboard because he typed. Okay, so we have something like that. Let's make sure this is a check. Okay, check, check, because he accomplished all the requirements. Let's make sure these are an auto layout checks. Let's decrease a bit the distance. Let's make sure here as well. Let's make sure we checks, copy, paste. Let's say he already meets only a requirement, and that's why the password is weak. Make sure we we take this button and we paste it on the bottom of the page, and let's make sure this one is invert. Okay, and now as we switch to light mode, everything is looking very good in my opinion. Okay, but I don't like this strong color on light mode. I'll go here on primitives, go to teal, make sure this is darker. Okay, so you see this is getting darker, and let's make sure this bar has this. Okay, let's see how it looks. Okay, so now I think we are good to go, and he created a password. It's very strong. We can add here an eye that helps him visualize his password, but let's save some time and let's say that he continued and he enabled. Let's address in our food app, we want to allow users to enable their locations in order to deliver the food, right? So let's see here, let's switch again to light, and let's enjoy local restaurants. Say we can add some text, go to Mobin, type food, let's say Food Panda. Okay, so find restaurants near you. Let's take this text. Okay, near you. Okay, take this text here. By allowing location access, you can search for restaurants near you. Okay, location access, enjoy local restaurant. Okay, so let's see. If you don't know how to create this kind of screens, let's ungroup our auto layout groups, and let's say something like that. enable location, and let's duplicate. Let's make sure this is on the bottom, and just hold on and say buttons, create an auto layout with a multiple of 4 distance between them. Make sure these are aligned in the middle. Enter address manually. Okay, and just make sure this is white, and we're gonna use exception because we want white on the dark mode as well. Just go here and make sure the distance is 40 between these two. Let's decrease a bit the distance on this one, on this H2 title, and you can add here enable location, something like that. Okay, so when he enters, when he clicks on enable location, we will be asking for a prompt or something like that. Let's go to Figma because I think I have used something like that similar in the past. So as you can see, I already created a UI kit that has something like that. You can see. Okay, so let's make sure we paste this one, and let's make sure this is 430, and let's see what is the height. Copy, select this layer. Okay, let's make sure this is aligned on the middle and allow, let's taste the tracks to use. Okay, let's make sure this is a bit medium in order to stand out because this will be the preferred option. Okay guys, increase a bit here. Fill, okay. Let's increase a bit here. Okay guys, so let's say that users clicked on enable location and enabled his location, and now we can move on, but he might want to add his address manually, so we have to add a search, something like search location. Let's say if we have a search here, let's take this one, go here, paste. Okay, let's make sure it's perfectly aligned on center, and here let's make sure it's aligned on the left, and he can type for street number or postal code, something like that. Okay, let's get rid of this text, and let's get rid of these buttons. Okay, this is manually address. Okay, so let's short add your address. Let's make sure it's 20. Okay, let's make sure we duplicate this, and let's say now that this is we typed in, so let's copy the style of this one, hold alt command and C in order to copy style, go here, select this group, and let's say alt command V in order to paste the style. Okay, and add one more thing, duplicate, in order to get them the feeling that they are typing their physical address. This is hugged, this one is hugged, and between these two there is no distance, and let's make sure this is something like that. Okay, make sure this is perfectly aligned on the left, and the distance between this magnifier glass and this text is something like 20. Okay, let's get rid of this. Oh, 20, I think it's too big. Let's say 16. Okay, so as the user types in, let's make sure we select this and increase the opacity because this was 15. The keyboard comes back again because they type their physical address. Okay, and as they type, let's make sure this one we unlink, and this is something like bold in order to make it visible. Add your address. One, add your, let's rename a bit our artboards. So 1, 2, and as they type, and let's say my street is this one. Okay, let's ungroup this, get rid of this auto layout. Okay, and some results will pop up, will be displayed on the bottom of this search. Copy a slot, as you know. Oh my god. So bear with me, guys, because this is how you're gonna create an app. Let's say it's street, something like that. Let's duplicate. Some results will come. Okay, something like that. 35. Okay, so let's make sure all these three are some results here. So make sure we have an auto layout called results, and this is the one that is selected. So make sure you have also add an auto layout, and these ones are fixed 390. Okay, the group 390, and this all the elements inside are on the field, as you can see as we type on each one. Okay, so this is 430 because we want to take the full real estate. I tell you why. And let's make sure every element inside is also an auto layout. Okay, select one, adds a bit of a padding, copy, paste, copy, paste, select the group, decrease the size one. Let's add a bit of a shadow here on effects. Go here and make sure you get rid of that blur, and you see the shadow has been applied, but as we don't have a background underneath, we cannot add. See, it's all changing very smoothly. Let's make sure this is one, and let's make sure we also add a variable to this. Okay, and copy the style, paste. Hey guys, these are my results, and this one is selected. So make sure it's something like that. I add a bit of an effect that tells them that this one has been pressed on, tapped on. Okay, and one more thing, we want to make sure that with one tap they can get rid of this text that has been typed. So how we gonna do that? Let's make sure we are still this close icon, go here, just paste it, make sure it's smaller, make sure we add an auto layout. Okay, and make sure this is filled because we want to manipulate the width. And let's make we add a stroke, and this stroke is invert. Okay, add border radius of 12, and let's make sure this is 20 and 20. And in order to make sure this close icon is smaller and smaller and smaller, and change selected, decrease a bit here the thickness, maybe a bit more, I don't know. And this stroke is one 6. Okay, this is delete text. Make sure this is filled in order to push the icon. Okay. Okay, so I think I like what I see. They, let's say they added their physical address and just duplicate, and let's just rename, add your address 3. Okay, and we want to make sure we want them to confirm their uh, physical address. How we gonna do? Let's take this text, something like that, and let's say that align on the left. Let's make sure everything, every element inside is perfectly aligned. Let's say street 28, district 6, Bucharest, Romania is my address here. Let's decrease a bit by selecting H4, or let's see H3. Yes, let's add a text here that say something like that our drivers will know that this is your address. And if you don't know, go to Mobin. Let's say, I don't know, your rider will deliver to the pin location. Okay, your driver will deliver to the pin location, your location. Okay, let's see what else do they got. You can edit your address from your profile section. Okay, let's make sure we add here we select all these to add a background, a fill here, and make sure we add something like that. We take the full space, we arrange, we add a bit of a padding. Let's make sure 20. Okay, and let's move it on the bottom, and let's add this also on the bottom. Make sure it's perfectly aligned, make sure it's on the bottom, and this one on the bottom has 8 like the other one, like the distance on the other boards. Okay, let's add an edit icon, something like that. Let's see if we have an edit. We don't have, but I have in another design system that I have. Let's take this one. Okay, and the street and this edit, let's select both. Let's change, make an auto layout, change the direction, top, let's call it top. Let's click and make sure this is add an auto layout here, and let's take the style of this button, copy the style, come back on this one, paste the style, and I think we are good. Select this auto layout, click here in order to add some border radius, but only on these two corners, and I want the distance to increase a bit. Okay, and the distance here between, let's rename this content and this text, add an auto layout called text, and the distance between this bar and the content to be a bit bigger, something like 32. Okay, and now we want to add a map or something like that. I think I have something, I don't know, you can screenshot, but I already did that in order to save you some time, guys. Make sure this is the same width as our artboard. Let's perfectly align on the middle. Let's increase the size a bit. Okay, so they can also edit this address, their physical address, from here. And let's add also this style on this one. Okay, because we want to be a bit visible, this arrow is on top of this map. And let's add a confirm button, something like that. If you don't know, guys, how to create an add address, just I don't know, just go on Mobin, or I found another website. Make sure this is filled in order to take the real estate confirm address. So how do I know to create all these kinds of screen? I go here on uipacket.com. This is a Japanese or Korean website, and I just here you can see all the apps, but of course you will have to sign up, or you go to Mobin and just type address here, and you'll see that something like that, and you can get your inspiration. Okay, so this is how I did it. I just went there. It's not rocket science. Let's add a bit of a border radius here, and let's add the fill, and let's make sure you select the um, variables from the tokens collection and not under the primitives. But make sure let's switch a bit. Let's say if on the dark is good, yes, and you can add a dark. Let's make sure here default, then make sure invert. Okay, something like that. And let's make sure h4, yes, I think h4 is better. And the paragraphs, it's on regular. No, I think it's bigger, and I love bigger, larger titles. Okay, so what else do we have? So they confirmed their email address, they created an account, and after that we have to add here an illustration or something like that. And we can copy this because we want to make sure they provided with the valid email address, and they are the ones that are creating an account. So this two-factor authentication will work also on creating an account. Two-factor authentication. Okay. Okay, what else do we have? So we want to add the screens where they allow for their notification, because we want to send them order statuses about their orders, and they have to enable push notifications. So how we gonna do that? Go here, let's say if, oh, look, Food Panda would like you to send notification. Let's get updates on order status. Go here. Okay, and let's say duplicate this one, and let's say that they enabled they allowed for notifications. And how gonna do that? Just copy this one, go here, see that I already did that, enable game, and let's change tasty tracks with like to send you notifications. Okay, let's add something else. Alert. Okay, and let's see what I did here. Enable notifications. Yes, makes sense. Make sure this is usable. Skip for now. Okay, also here take this one and just make sure you disable this. Okay, track your order, make sure you copy this text from here and not from here, because it will paste also the style, and just track your order. Let's say allow notifications. Okay. Okay. And now I think we are, let's also add, I think I like this illustration. Let's copy. Okay, let's arrange. You can change the colors with our variables. Let's see what colors do we have. Cream, go to tokens, brands. Okay, from brands, coral, something like that I like. And here, oh, let's say something like default, exception dark. This hair, it can be exception dark. This can be a cream. Now, something like that. And you can enable and push notifications. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have to also change the colors on this one, on this illustration, and make sure it's on light, and the alert will be something like that. And in order to give, we might wanna use something like this. So more about you, it can be something like that. Get rid of this, all this, and just add text. It can be what you interested in. Let's say please favorite foods in best experience, enjoy, something like that. So we want to create to the users the best experience, and they might wanna choose their favorite food, something like, I don't know, seafood, pasta, burgers, or something like that, and they can tap and they can do something like that. And tap at least two and make sure this is on the left, and we want to add a button, something like that. In order, maybe they want to select all, they don't have any preferences, so select all, make sure this is hugged, make sure you duplicate, and make sure it is exception white, cancel selection or clear. Okay, select this to decrease the size. Okay, make sure this, you, with these buttons and this text, you create an auto layout and you change the direction, and this is feel hugged. Okay, and this is called tap. Okay, so this one and this one is gonna be content, and the content fixed width is 390, and all these ones are filled. This one is filled. Okay, and this one also, the groups and the elements inside have to have the field value from the auto layout in order to take the full space. So if you created a group auto layout with a fixed width, all the elements inside has to have this field option. Okay, tap, and let's say here's 0, and we have 17 foods. Okay, and this number will increase according when the user will tap. let's make sure the distance is like that, and the height of these buttons is a bit smaller, and let's add something like that. Okay, guys, and let's say that the distance between these two is 20. Okay, and now we want to make sure we add a check mark. Let's add our check. Okay, add an auto layout, and let's let the field brand. Okay, 48. Make sure this field has a field in order to manipulate, and let's say that is 40. Okay. Because if we decrease the size it will look odd. Check. Okay, 24, and here you can manipulate by decreasing this padding values. Okay, so we have, click on this, create an auto layout, give it a feel of 1, just make sure this is something like 350 or 150. Make sure this will stay here, increase a bit. Okay, so this is the picture of a food. So if you don't know what I'm doing, take this one, take this food, create again auto layout, change the direction, make sure the picture is on the top, make sure this will gonna take the real estate, decrease a bit, make sure the distance between these two is 12. This is the seafood. Okay guys, so now we have something like that. Okay, we have something like 12. So this is his preference. So make sure you duplicate. This is burgers. Okay, let's take these two, create an auto layout, and this is 1, something like that. Make sure it's here. Okay, make sure it's filled, make sure each one is filled, and each inside is filled, and each one is filled, and the distance between these two is 20. Okay, so we're getting closer and closer, and let's make sure, let's see, this is not selected, and we add a stroke. Let's say this is something like exception dark. Let's add of white, something like default exception white, and with no clue, this is not selected. Okay, so duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. Let's make sure that bar is on the top. Let's copy this a lot. Okay. Let's make sure he selected something here. Okay, so what kinds of food? Let's change the name here. Seafood, pasta, I don't know, Japanese, and the list can go on and on. Make sure you copy the style of these ones. Make sure you paste, 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 and you can change the images. We have to add a button in order to So we just copy this section. This, I think this will go. Okay, all this will gonna go. And let's say continue. Here as well. Okay, so he chosen some preferred foods, and now we can add, make him aware that any allergy, okay, tap on the food that might harm you. Okay, and now we want to use red. Okay, and now let's say he selected 3, or I don't know, 12, and now 3, and now you can add here dairy, I don't know, peanuts. He might be allergic to peanuts, he might be allergic to sulfates, I don't know, food allergen. As you can see, I already searched for it. And let's see what are the food allergen: lupin, soya, milk, mustard, soya, mustard, crustacans, crust. Okay, and now we have to make something different. We get rid of this because we don't want this anymore. So this is filled, this is hugged, and we want to be using some circles. Okay, change the direction, make sure it's perfectly aligned, make sure this is 60, 72, make sure this is 40. Okay, let's make sure we add here as well a stroke, 12. Let's make sure is invert. Okay, something like 20. Okay, and here let's copy the style of this one, paste it here, 48, and as the default unlink. Okay, let's add a padding of 16, and let's add this check, and let's add it here on the top, and make sure this is something like that, and select these two, create again an auto layout, and make sure 0 is here, and here is 60 and 12, and this is a danger. Let's make sure something like that. Take this one, duplicate, get rid of this one, milk. Okay, let's say this one is copy and paste a lot. Okay, get rid of this. Okay, guys, so something like that, I think it will work. Delete these two and these two, and just duplicate, and let's say diary, let's say something like milk. Let's add the milk here. Okay, let's change here, something like that. Copy and paste styles a lot. This will be peanuts, fish, I don't know, mustard, and soybeans, gluten. Okay, so let's grab some images. Fish food. Let's copy this image. Go here. Paste. Peanuts. Just grab here. Or take this one. Copy image. Paste. Copy. Go here. Paste. Gluten. Okay, gluten. It will be something with bread. Okay, so this is what you can do here. This is how we do it. I think we still have time to create the product screen before stopping. So let's quickly do that. Let's take this one and just copy and paste it here. So let's move it to the bottom of our artboards, and this is called product. Okay, so what we will have in the product page, we have something like favorites. To favorites, you have here a like icon, and make sure the thickness of it has the same value as the thickness of other icons for consistencies. So this is 2.4. Let's see if the 2.4 is the same. I think not. Let's make it something like 2, and we'll come back and check all the icons again. Okay, let's click Shift A in order to add auto layout called top. Let's make the fixed width of 390 pixels. Make sure here that the distance is on the auto. Select the group layer and horizontally arrange in the middle. Let's add something like a title. Pizza Napoli, we will add something like that. Let's use our styles here. Let's make it H1. And usually a product page is made up of the title, of quantity, plus. We have a plus. Okay, so as you can see, I'm using a design system, and you should do the same if you want to create faster. And select these three components, click Shift A in order to add another auto layout called quantity. Add a field, save brand. On the field, I think we can have a coral. Let's make 20 pixel border, border radius 16, and the distance on the vertical 12. Let's make it shorter, 8, and here 12, and take these guys and make them 16. Let's select the quantity, make it align in the middle on vertical x. The distance between these two, I want something like 16, and let's make this one something like that. And fastly and without effort, and we're moving fast, we have our quantity, because a user might want to add multiple pizzas, so you have to think on all the possibilities. And let's decrease a bit to make some room. Let's make it like this. Let's make it peel, and let's decrease a bit on 12. I think it will work the best, because we want the number, the digit, to be emphasized and not the number. Let's make something like this and something like this. And when you resize, you see that you have to place here on aligning center, and as you can see, when you resize, it will all work smoothly. So let's move here, and okay, let's grab these two guys, and let's add some um, calories. I think I have an icon for calories. I think I have an icon for cooking time. Place it there. What else can we have? Reviews. We have. So take this one, place it here, grab it here. Okay, so make sure these are the first ones. Let's increase a bit this icon to 24. It will work. Let's make this big. Okay, okay, let's take this one, and on calories, I don't know, let's search on Google pizza Napoli calories. Okay, 640 calories. So let's paste it here, make sure this is aligned on the left. Okay, so take these two guys, shift A, auto layout called calories, and the distance is on the middle, and it's on 8. Here 4, let's make it 4 everywhere. Okay, cooking time, I don't know, let's take this text layer and copy, paste it here. Let's move out. Okay, and let's group these two by holding shift A in order to add not a layout called cooking time. And this is still the same, has the same values. If not, go here, Alt Command C in order to copy, Alt Command V, paste. Okay, take these three, Shift A, auto layout, change the direction here, make sure this is hugged. Okay, and this is useful info. Okay, so we're moving fast. Let's make here, this is reviews. Okay, and this is hugged, 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 and decrease the distance, I don't know, 24 or 40, I think it will work the best. Make sure the alignment is on the middle, and I think cooking time 20 to 30 minutes, something like that. Sure, this is 32. And let's grab these two, make an auto layout again called top. Okay, so we have two auto layout. Select both these ones, both these components, add the auto layout called content. Okay, and make sure it has a fixed width of 390 pixels, where this title has a field, because if we have longer title names, we will have to address, and we have to think on all these details. Okay, so this has to be a title variable. This one, body, it's good. Okay, so the distance between these two, it has to be 24. And let's add a paragraph, pizza Napoli description. Okay, let's add this text. Okay, let's add this one, paste. Okay, this will be our description. Let's make this paragraph very small, and this is called the description. Place it, guys, inside this content. Okay, and take this one and make it field container, and this, take the group of the description and make it field container in order to take the full width that we gave, 390. Okay, and this is 28 as well. Add some duplicate this description and take rid of this one and see add toppings, something like that. Let's see if how it will look like. And we want to add some, I don't know, some images with some text. Okay, so moving underneath here, select this, rename toppings, paste here, make sure this is perfectly aligned on the middle. Take this diary and make it aligned on the middle, but make it hugged. Okay, let's decrease the size a bit of this one, and squall is called toppings, this one. Okay, let's make sure we copy the style of this big paragraph, paste it here. And a pizza is usually pizza Napoletan. Let's create again an auto layout called first topping. Let's make sure this is on the middle and is on 4 or 8. Let's decrease a bit, make it 16. Okay, and let's make sure this is hugged and hugged. And I think I'm gonna use some images that I have on my computer. I think something like this, product savory, because I did something like that, a food mobile delivery app uh, in the past. So I think I have some ingredients here. See, I have these tomatoes, so I have to decrease a bit the shadow, decrease a bit the stroke. So usually it's a lot of auto layout and it's a lot of copy and paste. So you see I have a parent group that has field here, and these ones inside are under the containers. Let's duplicate, select toppings group, switch the direction to horizontal layout, and add here tomatoes, and you see it all adapts smoothly. And I think we can go here to image, choose another ingredient, I don't know, pancetta. Yes, pancetta is on the pizza Napoli ingredients. So you want to make sure that the user can add some ingredients. So you see, I'm just trying to look for ingredients, but I don't want to spend too much time with this one, basil, something like that. Okay, let's duplicate. What else do we have? Let's see if I have something here. So I have, let's add peppers. I don't know. You have to take a look on Google, or I don't know, mushrooms, something like that will work. Add again. No peppers we added. Let's add mozzarella. Okay, so these are some ingredients. Let's uh, select these toppings and increase a bit the distance between these two. And in between the title and the toppings, let's decrease a bit the distance. 16 will work. Let's copy the style of this one, and I think in this style it will work better. Okay, what else can we have, guys? So make sure all these toppings will go all the way in the right, so users can swipe in order to see them all. Or this one, it's called ingredients, and you can add a bit of a check here, so when they can check. Okay, let's see if we can. Okay, so let's switch it here, 8. Okay, let's ungroup this one and make it on the right, and the distance between these two is 8 and the distance between these two is 12. Let's switch positions, see how it will look like, and let's add a stroke. Let's add a stroke, something like that. Copy the style, select, make it, and just hug. Okay, so take this one and decrease a bit, 12. Okay, and now take pancetta and paste it here. Okay, get rid of the pancetta. Okay, let's remove the basil, duplicate peppers. Okay, let's again, this is something that I get wrong because I had to create this from scratch and I had to create it in the first place correctly, and when I duplicate it will save me a lot of time. So let's add an unchecked, something like that. Okay, let's say that we added some let's duplicate. Okay, but it doesn't matter. Let's decrease a bit the distance between these two, and let's take this one, and let's say that mushrooms, and let's again choose the mushrooms. Okay, so this is how you're gonna add some ingredients, some toppings. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move button. Let's go here and let's move this one on the bottom. Let's add a picture of a pizza. I don't know. I have, okay, I think I have a pizza here. So if you don't have an image of a high quality product or a high quality image, I think you can go on Unsplash and you can just grab a pizza from there and just take the background out. As you see here, take this one and select subject in Photoshop and just save it as a PNG and just paste it here. I don't know, something on the effects, add a bit of a shadow, I don't know, something like this. So this will be my, I think I'm not happy with the shadow, but I think I don't want to spend too much time on shadows and things like that. On the top content, let's add a fill. Okay, so let's see if I take this one and just type hugged. Okay, it's good. Take this one, add fill. Okay, default background 3. Make sure this is something like 24, and we want to add a padding of 16 and a padding of, let's make like that and like that. I think on the top I want something like that. Make sure this bottom bar is placed here. We want this one to be, create an auto layout of this bottom bar. Make sure it's filled, make sure it's like that in order to manipulate the direction, and something like 8 because the 8. Take this one, move it to the bottom. Okay, make sure you add a bit of this bar. We can add this bar and place it on the top. Okay, and I think we can duplicate the one that we have, make sure it's smaller, and make sure you detach the instance because I want to change a bit. Okay, and let's say that, okay, Okay guys, so it's something like 8 again, and I think it's working very well. It's looking good in my opinion, and we can add call to action button. Let's copy this button from here, go here on the content, paste it. Let's paste here. Let's take the whole real estate. Okay, something like add to cart or buy. Okay, so usually a pizza has 3 sizes. It is small, choose size, and you have small that it has, or let's say the small pizza is $10. Okay, the medium one is 17, and the big one is 28. And you take this checkbox here, this radio button, and place it on the top. Shift A in order to add auto layout small, and you want to place this one on the middle. Make sure this on the middle here. Make sure you copy the style of this one, paste it like this, and let's duplicate. Select all these 3 sizes. Make sure it's on the right the direction, and let's delete these 2, and now we have, select these 3, choose regular, and place it something like medium 70 and big 28. Okay, let's make sure you placed another check. This is not checked. Take this one. Okay, delete. Okay, let's decrease a bit the distance between these 3, and let's make it something like 12. Okay guys, so I don't like that in this here it's too big, so we have to decrease the distance even here. Let's make something like 12, but decrease the distance between here. Okay, so you may wonder why we have this checkbox on the top button here, on the bottom, and here on the top. Okay, let's switch positions, but I think it's visible on the, but let's make sure we increase consistency. And these are some details that are very important, so make sure you don't skip them. The user experience is way more important than everything else. So I think on the description we can do something like that, just decrease, and let's make sure you add more and or more here, and it will redirect to a pop-up where they can see all the details about the pizza. Let's take this one, copy, move here, select both these 2, auto layout, change direction, go here, make sure this is filled, make sure the group is filled, make sure it's aligned on the top, and slowly we're starting to have our let's decrease a bit the size, our product page. So I think we covered a lot in this video, so let's make part 3 guys, when we address the shopping cart experience, the checkout experience, where the user can add their payment method, and they can switch to the ordering page and the profile picture, and we can cover a lot. So let's see if we can get rid of something like a distance here. Let's see, 20. Okay, let's get rid of this bar. I think it's not needed anymore because we have this bar here, and let's take this one and make it like that. Take this one and make it like that, and let's increase here. We'll make an exception, but you can play a lot with this, and I think 16 it's even better. And here the distance, it can be 12, and this also 12. Okay, so let's grab again our pizza. Where is the pizza? Okay, let's decrease a bit. Okay, so you see, it's not about the pictures, it's not about it's not that important. It's important the user experience, and you can provide all these details, and this is the most important part. Let's see if this one has to be arranged on the middle, this one on the middle, and let's decrease a bit the distance between these two. Okay, I think the distance between these two is way too big, and let's copy paste. This is 24. I think 20 will work as well. And you can make the same all over the place components, and it will help you save some time and be consistent. So that's why I haven't added these buttons to components, because I already have this on components. And here you can add some legend here with what you have chosen. You can add the total price, and you can add here. So let's say I added a small pizza that has $10, so it's pretty accurate. If you have chosen medium, here it will say 17 or something like that. So this is it, guys, for this part. I think we covered a lot. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you stay till the end with me, because we can address the flow also for restaurants that can create an account and they can add their products, and it has a completely different flow. So this is how you do a food mobile delivery app. So if you don't know, stick with me to the end, because in the next video we will address the profile flow, the order experience, and maybe the flow for restaurants. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.